Ooh, ooh. Oh, brother, it's freezing and it's raining. Oh, oh well, nothing else to do except show old records. Um, Thanks for responding, Ben, to the Wild Cherries track. Um, yeah, I remember that one. Stop Killing Me on the Sea. Was that in out of that surf movie from the early 70s? Possibly. It's sort of they went a bit hippie on that one. He's a funny Bobby Lloyd. You know, he's been through them all and ends up with a Sharpie croup and sort of going through a hippie phase and all the different phases. So um, I thought I'd just do an instant follow up to that one, and this is my copy. Um, this is the original. That's Life, the Wild Cherries. Not Frank Sinatra song, you know that, Ben, but it's not that one. And the B side, this is pretty good from memory. I haven't heard it in decades. Try Me, I'm Not As Bad As You Think. I think it's pretty good, actually. It's a Barrington Lyde composition, as was That's Life. Yeah, pretty monster guitar sound on that one. Found the rest of my Ray Brown and the Whispers. What a great band, Sydney band up there, you know, so good. Ex-surf instrumentalists. They get a lead singer that can really sing. He's a local boy from my area, Ray Brown, and this is a great single. God, stomper this one. Big guitar sound on this. Ain't It Strange, Ray Brown and the Whispers, and I Can't Get Enough on the B side. Great single. You can't go wrong with Ray Brown and the Whispers. Every record they put out was fantastic. And here's another one. Now, this one's in beautiful condition. I think I might have got this on eBay about 10, 15 years ago. It's one that I loved. I actually had the album Ray Brown and the Whispers, which goes, the original sort of did go for a fair bit of money. These things come and go, but it was a pretty good album. I think the photo was actually taken at my beach, Cronulla Beach. It certainly looked like it was. They weren't the grooviest looking guys around town, but they actually looked pretty cool on the cover of that album at the beach in sort of casual beach sort of clothes. Yeah, so I had the album, so I didn't need the single, but I picked this one up somewhere. This is on Lead On Pride, their second, single. Huge, another great track, cover track. But wow, huge with the fantastic B side. Say it again. Another great double sider. Value for money. That's what you got with Ray Brown and the Whispers. You certainly did. Value for money. And I think I've got their first one I've found here too. 20 miles. They're very. And what another great. Wow. This bedding. 20 miles, a cover. Great, really gets along at a million miles an hour. It's good. They're just such a great, like Normie Rose backing band, the Playboys. These guys were bloody good seasoned musos, They were much older than their audience. Their audience was people like me, 15, 16. They were probably already in their early to mid 20s, some of them. But they could play. And these still sound good, especially, these 45s. And with a fantastic B-side, Devoted to You. Value for money. What a terrific outfit. What a great outfit they were. And they played at my local hotel, the Guy Hotel, back in '64, but I was only 13, so I couldn't sneak in. Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs and Ray Brown and the Whispers were playing. Yeah. Anyway, so here's one. This one's what do you call it? One of those sample record, not for sale things, which I love. The band is called Pastoral Symphony, but it's actually the Twilights with one of the members of the Group or the Groove. I can't remember if it's there were two Melbourne bands. One was called the Group, one was called the Groove. I've got the singles, but it was the singer of one of those and the Twilights, basically. It's terrific. It's a over-the-top phasing and, psychedelic, big production, full-on, that psychedelic sort of stuff that was around in '67. And it's right up there. It's world class. Superb. So the song Love Machine was by an American garage band, the original. I forget who they were, but it's a cover, but this one is over the top. Fantastic stuff. This one is an absolute ripper. God, this is good. This is not the first issue. The first issue was on the red and white spin. And this sold big. But like all records from that time, once they fell off the charts, that was it. And then you just wouldn't see them again because music and fashion changed so rapidly that it was all gone and forgotten. Only those that had heard these at the time would actually have even known about them. And so we were lucky in that we sort of knew what we were looking for. And a lot of these I would have scored in the 70s and 80s. I can't remember when I picked this one up. But it would be a second press because it's on the orange and black spin, which I much prefer. This is a song that appeared on, there was a band called Heir Apparent, E-I-R-E. That's the Celt name for Ireland, Heir. And the band were called Heir Apparent, which is quite clever. Punning going on there. And it was produced by Jimi Hendrix. He actually played on one of the tracks, I think, on their album, Heir Apparent, Irish band. And this is their song, Mr. Guy Fawkes, which is a great track. Great track. And this is Dave Millerset, which was sort of an Oz Kiwi outfit. Dave Miller was a Kiwi, I think. There's one of those mixed bands, But this is awesome. This is the version. This is just... So that's one I can highly recommend to anybody. Mr. Guy Fawkes, a song that needs to be heard. Such a great song, and it would probably just disappear without a trace. Thank God the Dave Millerset picked up on it and did what I think is like the best penultimate version of it. And look, I cleaned it in 2011. I cleaned all these with that vinyl reversionizer. God, what a job! But it works pretty good, that stuff. Can't afford to buy it now. This is the mighty Sally Go Around the Roses by The Questions. The Questions being Doug Parkinson's band. That's before he sort of became Doug Parkinson, and in focus after he left The Questions. I saw them, my first international concert I saw was at the Rushcutter, the old stadium, boxing stadium in Sydney back in early '68. It was The Who and the Small Faces. What a double bill. I don't think I saw anything after that could quite match the energy of those two bands at that time. My God, it was outrageous. And the audience was 90% males, There's boots and bottles flying everywhere. It was fantastic fun. Wasn't one for the girls. Let's put it that way. Not one for the girls at all. But the support acts were Paul Jones, ex-singer of Man for Man. He copped it. He copped a boot in the head. He made the mistake of taking his shoes off and throwing them into the audience. And the minute he threw them, immediately they came back and one smacked him straight in the face. Fuck, it was funny. And the first band on were The Questions with Doug Parkinson, a Newcastle boy from a bit north of Sydney there. Shall We Go Around the Roses is one of those ethereal. The Jaynettes is the original. It's black American female band, very, very early 60s. That's my favourite time of all. The girl groups from the early 60s. I just love that stuff so much. And because I was at that age, I was like 12, 13, 11, and it was just, you're not quite turning into a proper man and all this shit. And so it was a sort of a romantic thing, and it was aimed at sort of me, my sort of people. That was the audience, the original Jaynettes and the Ronettes. It was all aimed at people around my age, guys that are too scared to ask a girl for a kiss or even worse. And so it was sort of this romantic thing. It was a funny little moment in time that it just, I got a huge, huge soft spot for it. Innocent, I would call it, but a very dark song, Shall We Go Around the Roses by the Jaynettes. And the Questions do a damn good version of it. And the B-side is Hey Jip, Dig the Slowness, a Donovan track. So, which is actually both sides are in excellent condition. So I have waffled a bit too long today. Anyway, Ben, don't worry, mate. Wait till you get to my age, then you'll really start losing the plot. Take care now, all.